just trying to get experience.
All right, well, we're getting into the draft here. Game number 4, as we have Team Freedom, one game away from rewriting how things have gone between North America and Europe in the past year and a half. Crazy stuff if Team Freedom is able to get this victory.
If I recall correctly, in the past 33 games, EU has played versus NA. NA has only been able to take 3 until this series, and I guess the series of GFEs versus Expert, but let's ignore that fact.
So we're matched, 3-3.
Yeah.
If you think about it, all the games before today. So North America showing up. Medivh will be banned out for Team Liquid. They decided that Dansky was definitely a problem last time.
Makes sense. Dansky's been putting on a clinic, not even just this tournament, on how to play Medivh, bringing a tear to my eye.
I mean, the one thing I'm scared about, though, is the fact that they're so reliant on HasWobs to play these specialists, and it's becoming a bit of a predictability factor. And we talk about how you can adapt to the tournament meta or just who you're versing, and if you become that predictable, I say Team Freedom have unlocked the key.
See, that's the thing, though, is like, I feel like Team Liquid is much better than this, and they're just having an off tournament or something. Yes, the Vikings is strong with them. They can run with HasWobs. They can allow for him to move there. They stated in the past that if they get the Vikings, they feel like HasWobs can carry them victory. But this is a team that is very capable, and I want to see them dig deep and pull out these unorthodox or normal strategies that we've seen from them in the past. They've ran double support. They've ran Illidan and Vala together. They've ran Lenara and Illidan. They have these compositions available. They're just not bringing them out, and I don't know why.
I agree. It does kind of seem like Team Liquid is getting inside of their own head a bit
Yeah.
this tournament. Not even this series. Against Fnatic, being willing to just say, okay, the only chance we have to beat Fnatic is if we play Vikings. That, to me, sort of shows like instability within the team. And I don't necessarily know if that's true, but Stitches,
They get it.
coming back from Team Freedom, I wonder if Team Liquid will put an early prioritization on Cassia, because Team Freedom banned it before. I'd like to see them ban it again in that case.
Team Liquid is capable of running Genji, and Genji is up now for them and in a spot where they can grab it, especially with that Uther. There is also the Dahaka available. I wouldn't mind seeing an early pick on Illidan. We haven't had it from Team Liquid in the past, but give Darkmok the capability to move forward and go with it. There was some adjustments, I would say, about 3 to 4 weeks ago where they put Nurok on those melees and they put in Darkmok on those ranges, but maybe now's the time where it's like, hey, here's Illidan. Good luck.
Skimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at this and thinking Towers of Doom is arguably one of the best maps for TLV. We've seen TLV across many macro games, but I would argue this is basically his best map of them all, with the ability to triple cap, the ability to double cap, if anything, when that first rotation springs to mind. And if you're thinking that way, potentially take the Genji as well, so you don't have that #1 tier hunter.
Oh, this is interesting. They take the Dahaka as well as the Abathur on this rotation. I think that's smart. Illidan is up, Genji is up, but Greymane is denied. From Freedom's perspective, I wonder if they're going to try and deny one of the signature Abathur clone targets with this next banning phase. They already have one. There's 2 more, from my perspective, that I think they need to address.
And what are those 2?
Genji and Illidan.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm really curious to see what they end up picking for their side lane hero. Dahaka with an Abathur hat is very menacing, so I almost wonder if they should like opt into something particularly safe, maybe a Leoric later. But right now, I think they need to address the Abathur clone.
I'd be swaying towards banning out the Genji more than the Illidan. Stitch is doing a fair bit of work towards Illidan, whereas Genji's a little bit more disruptive, a little bit more mobile, a bit harder for them to find the hook. They decide just to completely negate that altogether, going for the bug, taking it away from Bloomby.
This is the other strategy, too, is that you leave up the Genji and the Illidan, and now Team Liquid has to decide if they want to ban one, which means Team Freedom gets to pick up either of those options, which can be good for them, or Team Liquid has to decide not to ban them so they can move into the possibility of an Illidan later or a Genji. So this is a pretty solid draft tactic from Team Freedom.
Yeah, and also Tassadar, keep in mind, has snuck his way through to this position in the draft.
That dark dimensional shift.
Ooh, yeah. It's on 30-second cooldown now as we approach 30 seconds in the draft.
Right, I mean,
and he's gone.
It's just been a standout in this tournament, always being considered in that first rotation. If not, he has to be banned away.
Yeah, I'm actually glad to see that Team Liquid doesn't forget about the Tassadar, because oftentimes when you identify the strengths of one team, and that's what you prioritize in the draft, you'll oftentimes forget about what's just on top of the meta. So this shows, I think, that maybe they're more composed than I initially thought. The fact that they banned the Tassadar here is really impressive. However, both Illidan and Genji are up. Unless Freedom takes both, which I find unlikely,
Yeah.
I think Liquid might get one.
Time to see here what they're going to move into. For supports, what do you think in the Rhaegar?
See, this is a hard question for me. I think there's a number of supports for Freedom that are at a similar power level overall. Now that Team Liquid has shown the Uther Dahaka, okay, they do take the Illidan. I like this.
Illidan
And the
Rhaegar.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. I am in love with Team Freedom's draft so far. I think they have incredible control of mercenary camps. They have a good amount of hook targets to hit. They have the follow-up too if need be with that totem to slow down anyone. Have Illidan go for the chase if they open up the map. Team Liquid now will have to definitely round out their roster with a strong 4th and 5th pick. And we're looking for that Ultimate Evolution clone you were talking about.
I honestly don't know if they would opt into this, but Cassia does look good here. However, Cassia, with only a singular support in Uther, can be a little bit weaker than normal, as
Yeah.
well as it is a bit uncommon with the Abathur, but Cassia does have good matchups into both Illidan, Greymane, and Rhaegar.
You would be relying on your Dahaka to have a very successful top lane and middle lane, but
Yeah.
he can do that, especially bolstered by the Abathur.
And I think Genji is what would make the
Yeah.
most sense here
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Team Liquid, but I don't know, my gut's telling me they might just say, Cassia looks really good here, guys. Let's just go with it.
I mean, there's talking about that before we saw Cassia Lily. They're
Okay.
not going to go for it. They're going to keep it standard in this case. The Genji we've been
I think this is-
promising is there, and Blumby is going to go on the Muradin, so the dive comp to counteract, I suppose, the stitches and his hook potential.
Final pickup coming for Team Freedom. Do we move into a little bit more damage, grab a little bit more frontline?
It's hard to say. Generally, what Team Freedom would want would be a pseudo support, but just so happens Team Liquid banned out 2 of the top
Is Zarya weird
pseudo-supports.
here?
I personally do not like the Zarya
Yeah.
pick, but I have a personal vendetta against that hero, so...
It's a big hair.
I don't know. She's just unfun to play against from my perspective.
I mean, when in Russia, I mean, think about where we are. I mean,
Hey!
let's play thematic, boys.
Watch your words. We're not quite there.
I wouldn't mind a little bit more control. Another warrior here could be solid for them. I mean, you mentioned the Leoric earlier. I mean, granted, Illidan can already get in the top lane and the middle lane.
Maybe an Arthas? I honestly don't know. I'm not sure what they pick.
Okay, it's gonna be the
Diva.
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 When all else fails, let's go Diva. It's a good pick for Nazmaz, and I think Diva does have good matchup into Dahaka, but that is skewed a decent amount once the Avatar
Yeah.
hat comes out.
So, looking at how this is rounded out, I feel like Team Liquid got a pretty good composition for themselves, but on the other side, you feel that Team Freedom also has some comfort.
I personally favor Team Liquid's draft.
Yeah.
I mean, Abathur Genji is just naturally super strong, and this is its best map. If you
And you're
were to
forgetting
ask me.
about Abathur Murden, too, in that late
Yeah.
game. The power and availability is great. There's 3 targets here that are wonderful hat targets for that Abathur. He has a slug in a candy store right now. He can pick anything he wants and move forward from that. However, it is very difficult to ignore Diva and the success that we've seen from Team Freedom.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit scared for Cluj in this game, to be honest. This draft looks very punishing for the Rhaegar.
Yep.
So I feel like this game's going to come down to his positioning, what he can do with the cleanse off of Muradin's
Right.
engage, and his ancestral timing on the Illidan has to be flawless.
Yeah, agree.
Well, we are ready for game number 4 here as we get into it. So, will Team Freedom be able to make history here after NA has suffered so many defeats at the hands of Europe? We're about to find out potentially here in game number 4.
Game number 4 about to start, and Europe is actually behind. Now, we talked about we wanted a close series, and Dread, I have to say, you guys had your fun. It's time that you lose like you're supposed to, please.
Scoreboard. Gonna leave it at that one. 2-1, boys. I'm not a mathematician here, Calder, but I in fact do know 2 is in fact greater than 1, and I believe North America has 2 on their side.
I hate you a little bit right now.
You know, I hate myself a little bit too. If somehow Liquid gets the sweep here, I'm gonna sound like a dingus, but I'm prepared for that.
This is what we were hoping for, guys. North America versus Europe on eye level right now, and Freedom impresses. They have the lead in the series with a 2-1 lead against their opponent, and we are heading into game number 4. It could be the last one for Liquid. They have to turn around now, and we see them to the left side with Hazobs on Abathur, Norok playing the Haka, Darkmog on Genji, Blumby with Muradin at that front line, and Uther played by Splendor.
And one game away from doing the impossible is Team Freedom. Zugrug on Stitches, Rhaegar played by Collusion, Greymane is going to be Dansky, Cure's on that Illidan, and Nasmus, as always, on Diva.
And Liquid, they have to prove now that they can still play disciplined here, because I can already promise you one thing. There's a lot of these guys on stage now that are extremely nervous about what's happening here.
I can understand why. I mean, again, we know that Team Liquid is an emotional team, and the confidence that they wanted to display against North America. Good dodge on the drag there for Nurok, but he's still in a terrible spot. The punishment there is going to be Darkmok going in with a nice slice. Nurok ends up surviving. And it looks like it's just a skirmish.
Barely getting out of there. The dog on the run now, but Blumby is the one getting chased. And, well, keep in mind that Team Liquid is playing an Avatar composition. Traditionally, that means in the early game, you are usually a little bit weaker. Yes, he has the global ability to make any 1-versus-1 battle help out there, and of course turn it into 2-for-1. But in those team fights, you still miss that 1 hit point bar until level 10 kicks in and you have your copy available.
Darkmok goes in, the stun lands onto Zugrug, the pressure's there, but is the kill? It looks like it will. This is Europe with first blood.
Yeah, at this point, North America losing Stitches in this case, and he got locked down into Oblivion. That was stun after stun connecting, and he just froze in time for what felt like 10 seconds.
Oh, Cure's receiving the hat. The drag is there, and that is it. 2 kills now. Liquid and top and bottom all over. They are putting on the pressure, and North America has got to slow things down.
Yeah, Freedom in this series has always been the team to take the lead. They won the first map, they won the third, but every time Liquid loses a map to their opponent, they come out swinging in the next.
Both teams picking up the sappers. Freedom does have a small temporary time advantage, and typically you'd like to see that team get the invade over the Abathur, but because of those first couple of picks here for Team Liquid, Freedom seems to be second-guessing how much aggression they want to display.
Now later on in the game, Liquid has of course also a big advantage thanks to the globals, but we have on 10 for Illidan, the hunt that pseudo global is going to help them out a lot to try and control those lanes. And already Dehaka moving in, they're going for Collusion. They want him, they don't get him, but they still have an opportunity to take Stitches down.
Zugrug ended up getting the heal though, and he's alive for now. Blumby in a bad spot, Dwarf Toss out, but he cannot make it there. Now Cure drops the Q, Nurok is dead, the body block is real, and now Freedom fights back when that was 4 versus 5.
That was exactly a fight that Freedom was not supposed to win, but they do. They grab their altar, and now they are the ones ahead in this game. Great double kill by them. Nurok once again with a sick dodge on the hook, but it just didn't help him to survive. There was too much for him to handle, and it all comes down to Zugrug surviving here. He was body blocked for so long, but still able to move out.
That was just an amazing team fight here, and I am scared a little bit. Nasmus caught out, but with no hard CC, not able to pick up the, Diva in human form. Nurok not there to hit every single drag like we saw in the last game. But, I am a little bit scared now for Liquid that the fight went that lopsided. I know that it wasn't a true 5 versus 4 in the fact that Abathur Hat doesn't necessarily embody an entire hero, but Abathur isn't necessarily terrible at taking those early team fights. His drawback early on is a lot of his lack of siege and pressure that you can get against him, not his skirmishing.
I feel a big part of the fight was really the shift in targets from Rhaegar at the beginning and then saying, we can't get him anymore. The drag needs to go on someone else. Who do we have? It's Stitches, and then we're attempting to make that play. I love what we're seeing at the top lane, though. It's scouting out what happens there. Dansky goes down. Liquid keeping tabs on the camp, and as we have Freedom moving in to claim it, Liquid rotates over, uses Abathur the mobility they have to not only steal the camp away, but also get the kill against Greymane.
Darkmok is just such a pest there throughout this game with the Genji and Abathur Hat with Hasuabs. He's just so much more flexible due to the ability, the talent tiers that we see coming out from Abathur, speccing heavily into his shielding, making sure that he can be as close to the front line, eat a little bit of damage, and still be totally comfortable trading up here against Team Freedom. But we've got altars. Only one up this time in 12 more seconds.
7 versus 7, and Skullcracker picked up by Blumby. Great talent against especially, of course, that Illidan. Every single time that mini-stun kicks in, Illidan is in trouble. Right now, here comes the explosion. They're trying to go for that. Doesn't hit anything. Good control there, but the channel is interrupted. Collusion trying to get it. Liquid dancing around and buying a little bit more time for Abathur up at the top, but it's still only 4 big hit point bars in this battle for Team Liquid.
they were unable to get anything there. Oh, hold on a minute here. Dark Maw. Nice job deterring, any aggression there onto Hasawabs. I know a few more shots, but this is what we expect, again, with the Abathur compositions. It's whether or not, once we get to the post-10, the clone comes online and the teamfight prowess is there for Abathur compositions, that's when we can expect Team Liquid comebacks.
Exactly. You are willing to sacrifice some of your early game in order to just shine later on in the match. If you can, of course, already get ahead in the early game, even better. Then your position is so much stronger. But right now, Team Liquid doesn't mind their spot too much. They would have loved to pick up an additional altar, but they're still alright. 28 points on their core against the 36 for Team Freedom. It's not going to be a 40-0 that we're going to watch tonight.
I mean, that would be a miracle at the way these guys are playing. This is a surprisingly even match for the games that we have seen across the board. The innovation from both these teams has been awesome to be able to watch. Even watching Liquid, trying to adapt to what Freedom has been doing throughout the series.
One of the things that's actually a little bit scarier is if whenever Team Liquid is able to get some control over the match, let's say grab a bell tower at the bot lane, with the network carapace that we're seeing for Abathur, he can put so much pressure onto the other lanes while the opponent has to try and recapture a bell tower. That scenario is something that Freedom should definitely try to avoid, because the pressure and the siege power that we have from Abathur with this build is pretty strong, especially if you're supported also by a global like the Haka.
Team Freedom sent a lot of members down here on bottom to deal with the sappers, leaving Cure confidently up here 1 versus 3 to be able to deal with that bell tower. I thought for sure we would see Freedom kind of panic and respond to it, but no. They are totally fine with the laning circumstances they found themselves in. 25 seconds, and we'll have another altar. And the biggest difference between this one and the ones we've had before is Liquid has a clone.
10 versus 10 at this point. That's what we're looking at. And of course, with the Divine Shield, also Genji is going to shine in these fights. And this is what Liquid is hoping for. Now they have to show their teamfight potential. We still see them pushing a bit with the Haka at the top lane. This is where Abathur, again, with the network carapace, can also help out. But at some point, they have to take that fight. And already the hunt comes in, but Genji dashes back and baits Illidan in a bit deeper.
Brush Shock's going to be coming down. Nirok looking to join in the fight. Hasawabs with the clone there. A lot of poke going on to Cure. Divine Shield's already going to be used.
Nurok moving in. Divine Shield is on Genji, but already over. He goes for the Dragon Blade. Nurok needs to be careful. But once again, Liquid not getting too much here. Hazop's clone is already incredibly low, and Freedom has easily defended against this so far.
They haven't even used ults. They've only used Bile, really. The hunt, yes, but it's a short cooldown. It's going to be coming off cooldown soon. Can they get this pick, though? Collusion drops the Ancestral before he goes down. That's going to be Nasmus dropping the Mecha Explosion. Good dodge there for Nurok as he goes underground, but this is now a 4 versus 5. Freedom is got to be full panic.
Rega is down. Freedom on the defense, and already Blue moving in once more with a stun against Stitches. They're trying to get the kill, and they do. It's the double kill as Liquid, after clone is over, the Divine Shield is used, and also the Dragon Blade is gone. We see Liquid turning it around and getting 2 kills in the order. How?
And honestly, a lot of it came down to the fact that Freedom knew that, oh, wow.
Oh,
they knew.
Calculated right there.
Obviously.
Like, he's a rocket scientist, you can tell.
I was going to say, when that teamfight opened, there was no world where Freedom should have lost that directly afterwards, but Collusion stepped out a bit too far, and then all of the members of Freedom locked down the CC, got the focus fire into it, and he essentially had to waste his Ancestral knowing that he was going to be going down. Freedom knew they had an advantage, but they had the wrong man leading the charge. You know, Rhaegar's typically not your strongest of frontliners.
Just getting a little bit too excited there. But yeah. Right now, at this point, Freedom, they basically had that lockdown, and that needs to also worry Team Liquid a bit. Even though, of course, they grabbed the altar in the end, that fight didn't go quite as they expected it to. But at this point, we are looking at level 12 versus 12. Super even in experience. Very even also in hit points on the core. 28 against 32. And the one thing that Freedom has to be afraid of are those globals. They have Illidan with a pseudo-global, with a hunt, but we already see Nurok and Darkmog together with Abathur constantly roaming the map and looking for targets.
Yeah, the globals are definitely not there to totally... It's more the Illidan is going to try and stop the pressure that Abathur and Dahaka are there. He's not really a playmaker. He's going to just be stopping the bleeding. 13 Talontier is going to be closed in for Freedom, and it's nice that they haven't fallen too far behind in that dynamic, but that last fight going over to Liquid has got to be very scary again because it should have been Freedom's.
It's also, yeah, the 13 is also such a power spike for Abathur with that Soma transference. It just really helps you to keep these targets alive. And there's another thing. With this build right now, Muradin can pick up Give Him the Axe on level 16. The synergy that you have with the Slow of Abathur, with also your own level 7, the increased attack speed that you gain through the Skullcracker, the damage output of Muradin is insane. This is definitely something that Liquid can do if they want to be a bit more aggressive.
And if you want to get any wilder in your own games, you know, you can drop that Adrenal Overload. Sadly, we don't get that build here, but given the Axe Adrenal Overload, one of my favorite synergies to exist in all of Heroes of the Storm. But we got ourselves 2 altars. And it looks like the members of Liquid are concentrating towards top. Collusion has started the channel here towards the bottom altar. He will confirm the shots, so it's all about mid.
It's not a trade though. Liquid is a little bit late on the channel attempt, and Nazmas goes for the interrupt, but once again, Blumby is ready. They're trying to get the kills here. Hunt already being used. The explosion comes in. Liquid moves out as one. Divine Shield had to be used on Uther though.
And that is not what they want because Darkmok falling so very low. Ancestral used on Dansky, and it is going to connect this time. Collusion in fine positioning. Even Cure backing out to get these sappers. Liquid once again finds themselves struggling into the fight, but last time we said that, they quickly turn.
Hazop still has the copy for a bit longer. They go once more for Diva. Collusion also attacked here in the backline. Freedom moving out, taking the Sapper Camp. In the meantime, Noro connects the drag, but in comes Illidan.
Oh my gosh, Darkmok not able to get the reset, and the Stormbolt actually being body blocked by Nazmus. Now Blumby, no Dwarf Toss remaining. Cure looks like he's going to be able to make it out unless Darkmok slices in. Does not land the reset. Is the punishment there? Not today.
Not yet. Darkmok on the way out once again. They're channeling right now. They need to get that channel, and Blumby does exactly that. But the fight's not quite over just yet. Dehaka is down, and they're trying to make it a double, but Genji moves out. Nurok has fallen though.
And though Liquid was able to pick up those shots, it's at what cost now? Because with Nurok down, Freedom must be able to open up this map and find a way to try and pressure Team Liquid, because Team Liquid has been dominating the map, but they've been struggling into the fight. So if Freedom can suddenly hone the map into their favor, imagine what might happen for the remainder of this game. But Liquid, they have such a good late game composition that I can't count them out at any point.
But Freedom is applying pressure now, and they're doing so much here. They're trying. Illidan comes in once again. This is a fight that Team Liquid just doesn't want. Darkmok moves out, but Blumby is still there. Had to use the Avatar. Jumps out. Where's the hook? No hook yet. Darkmok going in, going deep. Freedom is low, but again, the Divine Shield had to be used early.
Oh my gosh, and the hat turns on the Cure! Cure played that so beautifully for so long.
Oh, Hazops with a hat, and before Muradin dies, they get the kill. Oh, it's the stun in the death zone. Blumby tries to go in. His mana is so low, but there's Darkmok with the Dragon Blade. Rhaegar is down, and he's not done yet. Diva is the double, and they want the triple. They want them all. Dansky is low. Zukruk is on the run. Stormbolt to the face, my friend, and that is the Wolf eliminated. It's a team wipe.
He goes down in the end, but my goodness, Darkmok
dies a hero.
He dies an absolute hero. Sadly, I don't know. Doesn't everybody at this point? But no, you're right. That was a
no semantics here.
Beautiful, beautiful fight. Liquid. I mean, Darkmok, absolute janitor there. And Freedom, everything looks so good for so long, but it feels like every fight in this game is that story. They looks good, and then Liquid just goes, time to outplay it.
This game, this series is so much fun. Darkmok turning full boss mode there at the end, but falls to the last tower shot. Illidan with a hunt and the interrupt, and Blumby is all of a sudden feeling a lot of heat up there with Collusion moving in, and he's not the only one. Nazmas is there, but so is Nurok. Nurok out for blood once again. Splendor moving in too. It's a 3-4-3. Shots are fired towards the right, but there's still an ult to be fought over.
Mecha Explosion's available, and it looks like that's enough to deter Liquid here with that. 16 has now been picked up for Freedom. Shots, though, reside 20 to 21.
Blumby, no guts, no glory. No give him the axe for him. It's all in the defense for now. Staying alive a little bit more important for him than dishing out the damage.
Understandably so here in this game, because it seems like keeping themselves alive and kiting out the members of Freedom has been the thing that has set them apart. They just wait for Collusion to step too far forward, and then...
Yeah, but you're playing the Dwarf, and we all know he wants to kick some ass.
You are correct, you know? He's got the best trailer in the game.
The trailer is amazing. I absolutely love it.
But looking at, you know, the action pack that we got here, Sapper's picked up, and it looks like Freedom is going to answer down on bottom. Nazmus caught out.
Uh-oh. Han comes in, the attempted save, and they do... Oh, again! Hook onto Splendor into the explosion. Divine Shield is out, but the body blocks are there. Hazops is trying to help out, but it's not enough. Team Freedom's hooks once again. Sorgrog on that, Stitches.
That was so beautiful, and more importantly, what Freedom actually needed if they were going to try and hold their own here for the remainder of the game. Liquid wasting 0 time, knowing that they lost themselves a Splendor. They'll find 4 more shots throughout the boss, but it cost them a bell tower.
They have the vision at the bot lane, and you're right, it costs them a bell tower, but that just evens ups the score again. The problem, of course, is altars spawning at the bot lane are going to be a problem, so they need to make sure they reclaim the bell tower here so they're not caught between a rock and a hard place.
Which is exactly why we see Team Freedom going down to defend it. They want to make sure they keep this pressure on, not only because of those bottom altars, but the sappers. Those things can really aid to turn this game back around. But the 27 seconds for those altars, and they're all both onto the top lane, something that's got to be saddening Team Freedom here.
Both targets moving to the bot lane are very mobile, so a hook is not going to be the end of things here. But up to the top, we're seeing Cure pushed back by Nurok, and also, could he get, with the help of Abathur, the kill? Indeed he does! Illidan is down, Nurok getting the kill against Cure at the top lane.
And now the members of Team Freedom, for a moment I thought they might try and collapse and punish him, but no, they're just going to go for the channel. Blumby Dwarf tosses in, Collusion unable to get that, and now it's a 3 versus 4. Can Freedom get the kills fast enough? I don't think that's the case. Darkmock. Dragon Blade, he gets 1.
He needs more than that. The explosion is there, but it's not enough of an effect. Once again, D.Va, not only D.Va, Greymane is the first target here, and they take him down. They go for D.Va once again, and that might be the kill. Are they going to dive that deep? They don't. Hazops is about to lose the copy, but who cares if you can channel another altar, and this is Liquid taking more control over the game. A level ahead, closing in on level 20. They have 20% on their core, and if they get that channel through, then Team Freedom is down to the last 9 remaining points on their core.
The 20 is the biggest problem here for Freedom. They have to find a way to hold 9 shots for that long. It's just...
It's hard.
I mean, it's not so much that the shots are going to dissipate, it's that the fact that the bottom has been into their favor for the first time in a long while, and you know that Liquid is now going to go, okay, we're back to the pressure on the bottom bell towers and manipulating the map. And
Liquid should invade this. Liquid should be there right now. They should start to make a move towards the camp. They know that it's being taken. They have claimed the tower already. If they can now control the bottom lane, get the second bell tower, and claim the Zappa camps, then Freedom is going to be in a lot of trouble. They will have to react to it. And by the time we should have another bell tower on the map.
No, that was a lot of passiveness here, I guess, for Team Liquid with that 20 advantage. That's what my concern was, is that they would be able to manipulate this lower half so heavily, and then suddenly Freedom the entire time is committing too many resources and just stuck there in the bottom lane. It is a common reoccurrence we see on Towers of Doom. But alas, Liquid at least shows North America mercy.
Liquid seems to accept that they will have to fight on 20. And now they have, of course, also a huge amount of tools available with their Storm talents. Hivemind alone is so fantastic for them in these fights where we see 3 heroes diving in deep. Also, Potent Bile chosen as a 20 talent on Stitches.
Be able to get the heal.
Trying to get that additional sustain here.
Yeah, the sustained DPS there. That is interesting choice. The value that might be able to get through this fight. The peel hasn't been that good, though. You know, Genji doesn't worry about Bile that much. There are a lot of melees onto the other side, but I just don't know if that's going to be the thing that separates it, because when they use their ults, Freedom, they're doing okay. It's just the turn that Liquid always provides that's the problem.
I mean, we're going to find out how much of an impact it is going to have. So you get the extra... I mean, you have the slow at this point, and let's find out how this actually going to work for them, if they can get what they need. But first of all, it's a simple exchange in bell tower shots. None of these teams right now is really willing to go for the team fight just yet, not with these positions. Freedom accepts that they drop down the 5 points on the core. Liquid still has 16. And in 1 minute and 10 seconds, the boss is going to be another big factor that Freedom has to figure into this consideration there.
Especially with the high mobility on the other side of the table, you might see Liquid just go for a cheeky play, try and bait something with the sapper pressure onto one side of the map, all in commit to it, and find themselves 4 more shots, leaving Freedom just down to 1. I'm scared here for Team Freedom. I very much am with how this has gone, because every case where it looks as though they have the upper hand, Liquid just says no.
They have another problem. Even if they land another great hook against Uther, he has redemption now. Yes, you can burn that away, of course, but you need kills. You need to turn this into a numeric advantage for your team if you want to make this work right now. and a good hook could make all the difference at this point. Splendor already a bit low, but here comes Freedom. They want that bottom bell tower, and they're going to get it, but Liquid is moving in. They want that fight, and they're getting it. Explosion is already in. Rega is down. No Ancestral. No, nothing. Liquid trying to clean house, but they themselves losing Uther, losing the Haka. 2-for-2 trade, but Redemption is up, and Dainsky is low.
And Uther's going to be back for the heals now coming online. Cure is really going to not find a way out. Nasmus is the last member to stand here for Team Freedom.
Liquid showing absolutely no mercy in the fight, taking down 4 and going straight for the bell tower. Liquid is done playing. They've just had it with North America here in this 4th game, and they're starting to move for the altar. 5 bell towers in their control, and the only hero that is still alive on the side of Team Freedom is D.Va. Nasmas is trying what he can to simply delay this, but there's absolutely no way. It's a Hail Mary attempt as D.Va moves in. Abathur is part of the fun. Splendor with a heal, keeping the Slugger alive as we are seeing D.Va making the chase, but she is going to fall eventually, and Splendor is currently starting the channel. But D.Va, as annoying as she is, will eventually fall. Rega is back, but I don't think he has enough time. What the hell?
Did you want to say that one more time? He did say. This is the final shots. Liquid ends Team Freedom, and now we have a series 2-2 on our hands.
For 1 second.
You thought.
For 1 second.
I'm just saying, you thought about it.
For 1 second, I thought, can he really delay it long enough for the rest of the team to come in, even if he dies?
It's that big shot 20.
Yeah.
All the resets, but it was too long. In the end, Team Liquid showing that the second and third, or that the games here against Team Freedom were not too much for their mentality.
I wouldn't clap just yet, Blomby. Yes, you won the game, but that series has been all over the place, and the audience might currently celebrate Team Liquid for that last win. But we have a 5th game coming up.
We very